too lazy to change my description. New descriptor set. Right. This music would be pretty good if I was typing continuously. But sometimes I have to think. Some grease on my glasses. Can't see anything. Okay. So where was I? Well, I was I don't know. What undo? Redo. Yeah, we have to add an index, a frame resource index, to update the descriptor set. This is inside allocate, update, add handles and unlocking. That doesn't sound right. Add handles. What the hell does that mean? Oh, this I guess. Updating, adding handles and unlocking. Loop over set index. Oh right, like that. Adding handles. Yeah. Oh well. So, hey, Mr. Polo is back. How are you? You know how it is. I made dinner and then I watched a movie while eating, which is what I usually do. So then I finished the movie and then I went to play Risk, and for one thing came another, and then it was hours and hours and hours later, just before my bedtime, sort of. But maybe I'm just not going to bed today, so. Okay, so now we have multiple shader resources. Huh? No, I'm afraid that it depends on the shader resource if I want to. Yeah, I have different ones for each frame resource. For example, textures do not have overlapping resources for each frame, and uniform buffers do. So that is kind of problematic. That's definitely problematic. Let me think out. How does this work? Aha, I have texture separately from uniform buffer. So what if I do, let's not pause an index, I can just undo, right? Yeah. But shader resource is a base here. So the update descriptor set function I recall here is really just this function, this virtual function, and I did already add a frame resource index. You would say that that cannot be, because, for example, textures nothing to do with it. Delete it again. I don't know where this went wrong. Where is this going wrong then? I have to change everything back, and then I'll find out that I still need to add it, so then I have to add it back again, I guess. But yeah, for now I think I'm going to remove them all. There's no frame resource index at all, man. Texture, come on. And then this is a virtual function, so I can also not have it here, even though a uniform buffer has a frame resource, is a frame resource, whatever. And then probably should change all the header files as well. Change them back, that is. Let's go back to the texture. Go to the header file and then remove the index. Fuck all. Better. Uniform buffers index. We do not have an index anymore. But I need an index. Okay, let's resort first. Go back to Hexagon. Compiles, well, so this function is, yeah, that's where it happens, right? Where it goes wrong, rather. What I need here is multiple descriptor sets. That's what I need. Maybe I should call it multiple times, but yeah, but then again, you know, It would be nice if we could incorporate it inside this function. So I think I need a different descriptor set for each frame resource, because each descriptor set is being bound to a shader, to a shader resource or to a uniform buffer. And if I have multiple uniform buffers for each frame resource index, then I will also allow ones and zeros. Then I will also need multiple descriptor sets. Nitro, welcome back. What shall we do here? One thing is for sure, currently I only have one descriptor set. So if I want to fix this function, I'll maybe should start with making sure that I have multiple descriptor sets. So it still makes sense to look at the caller. The caller of this function. Void. So now you see why I can read so fast. This is the caller. Zar, yes, sort of. I mean, you can do a lot of things when you can control your GPU. One of the things is making a game, but I haven't decided yet. Update descriptor set. So here we have indeed this thing here, and I just have one of them. Okay, so where did that come from then? I just copy the missing descriptor sets. Oh, that is the set index. So this is one place, and then we have another place. Here's the other place. Oh my god. Existing descriptor set. Right. And that thing exists of... Why am I starting a sentence with exist? Just because it is, the name is existing something. This is being assigned descriptor set, which we get from running over all descriptor sets, which we got from the shader resource. So now some shader resources just have a single descriptor set, and other shader resources have a descriptor set per frame resource. And this code doesn't want to be bothered by that, really, I don't think. This code is so fucking difficult. It took me 1 or 2 months to write this function. I don't want to make it even more complicated. Yes, ones and zeros. And SSNO, hello. Hello. I'm going to abstract this away. So instead of talking about a single descriptor, I want to have an object that can mean both. Well, a vector is one of those things. I could make a vector that is either has the size of the number of frame resources or the size of 1. Maybe not even really a reason to wrap it. Wrapping is always nice, object oriented. So starting at the beginning, then it begins with the fact that it can be that a VK descriptor set, which is a handle of a descriptor set, can be stored in a shader resource, which allows us to loop over it in the first place. So in this means loop over all the descriptor sets in descriptor sets, which we got by calling accessor descriptor sets. If I go here, we go to that accessor function, and we see that it returns. Well, this is a shader resource, yeah. So it returns currently a descriptor set container type, which is simply a vector of VK descriptor sets. That is literally just, you know, a collection of descriptor sets, in the sense that there is no specific order or anything. These are just all the descriptor sets that the shader resource is bound to already. That's how I did it. So what I can do is change this type here to something that can either be a single descriptor set like it is now, or for certain shader resources like a uniform buffer, it can be a bunch of descriptor sets, namely one per frame resource. Well, that would be, I can make it an object, or I can just make it, what shall I do? I can make it a vector. Let's make it an object. So I'm going to make a new object, and I'll call it something with descriptor set in it. Let's say frame, and something, also frame resource in it. So frame resource capable descriptor set. So that means that either it's a bunch of descriptor sets, one for each frame resource, but capable means that it might also be just one descriptor set. What's in a name? Now this type doesn't exist yet, so I'm gonna have to create it and then put it in a header. I also have to include the header. Let's give it its own I'm feeling like putting it in descriptor because I have descriptors. Probably a good idea, right? So descriptor. Okay. Now normally if I have, well, this is also the namespace then. So normally if I have descriptor names colon set layout, I leave out the descriptor. But mostly then it begins with set. So you can read this as, it is a descriptor set layout, but I write it as descriptor set layout. Otherwise you would get the descriptor set layout. It's twice descriptor. I don't like that. However, in this case, this is more like what's the word? I don't know. What is it? A phrase, a series of characters that lives its own life. There's a word for it. I'm not really seeing this as English anymore, but more like this string is the string copied from the Vulkan API. They have vk : descriptor set. And that's what this is. So I don't care anymore about that. I want to have the full string in it to remind me of the fact that this is a Vulkan handle, descriptor set Vulkan handle. Maybe even more than one for each frame resource. Okay, so now it is a namespace descriptor. That is true. So I have to do frame resource capable blah blah blah, and we have put the descriptor in front of it. Now I'm going to add this header function and then define that thing. Well, the descriptor is here, so I can just edit it like that. New header, pragma once. Namespace is then Vulkan descriptor. I think this is also C++ 20 that you can just, you know, type the double colon in here. Otherwise you have to do namespace Vulkan and then again namespace descriptor inside of that, but they improved it. And then here we make a struct, or no, let's make it a class. And then it's going to be this thing then. Yeah, and then to implement it. I'm thinking about I can use standard optional, or I can just use a vector in either case. I think I feel like using the first option. Optional is also not really cheap, I feel. I'm not sure how it is implemented. It doesn't have to be fast anyway. Let's use this. So we're going to store vk descriptor set, and then in the utils vector, which uses a frame resource index. As the index. Now I deliberately, normally when I have a vector or list, I would call it plural, so descriptor sets. But in this case I'm deliberately calling it set because I want to treat the whole object as if it is a single descriptor set, even though there are multiple of them, one for each frame resource. I want to hide the whole frame resource thing as much as possible, even inside this function, even inside this class. Plus it's only capable, so sometimes this vector has a size 1 like I said, and then it is only one set. Maybe I should add it here. So then depending on whether or not this is a frame resource index, frame resource index or no index. I don't have an index there. Frame resource capable. Right, well, if I can influence my viewers, a lot of whom are beginners, I understood, something, I would like to give you this. Please type English comments. And then I mean, every sentence starts with an uppercase and ends with a dot. I have no idea why people do not do that. A lot of people write sentences and then they can't find the shift key. Really? And no dot. Why? It doesn't make things any more readable if you leave out all your punctuation. I'm going to need a few headers like utils vector.h. We're even going to need vulkan slash vulkan.hpp. I put that down for this thing. And of course we need the frame resource, which is defined in a frame resource.h in Vulkan. Okay, so I can just do include frame resource h. Now we have everything. Now this is a class, so per default everything is private. And I keep saying that because maybe it feels kind of silly, but my style is that I explicitly add private in front of it. You know, it allows me to add later something that is public above it. Public, add this, and then this is still private. Otherwise I would have to add it later. I don't really care about default. The default is, well, whatever. But we do need a public constructor, of course, and I cannot use it. That is, unless I don't need a constructor, but I think I do. Let's just see. Let's just see. I'm going to use the compiler and the compiler errors to tell me how to implement this class. The differences, the changes that I now made are pretty minimal, I think. Already so much. Cannot even see what changes I made. Okay, especially this one, or basically only this one. I just replaced in a single place the VK descriptor set with something that might be, you know, a whole vector. So this is totally broken code. And the funny thing is, if now you try to compile it, it's going to tell me exactly where I need make the avalanche of other changes to make it work again. Error, no matching function call to standard vector vulkan descriptor frame resources capable descriptor set vector brace enclosed initialize list in this line. Here we are trying to initialize the descriptor sets, but this is now a different type. I think it absolutely every place I just have to replace this type, because, well, from now on it can be this. So I have to use okay, so this constructs a set mutex and set handles thing, which has a single descriptor set. At least that's what it was trying to do. So I'll just replace this with this thing here. So that's theoretically still a single descriptor set, but maybe not, you know, maybe more than one descriptor set. But I'm going to use a what is not opposite of plural? Singular form, so I just call it set. Now these are sets because this is a frame resource capable descriptor set per set index. So there are multiple of them. This vector is something else than the vector that I added. The vector that I added is inside this type. And now I guess we better pass it as a cons reference because, well, it contains another vector. Before it was the vulkan handle, which is very small, just a built-in. So I pass those by value, but this is. I even gave it a pink value, so you can see that it is very small, and you can pass it by value. Passing this by value is not efficient. Well, I can already change this one because it's kind of clear that this is going to be exactly as problematic. And that then should work. You just push back, whatever this is. I would rather do a move, I would have to say, because now it's a vector, so yeah. Let's move it, you know. So instead of pushing, I'm going to do a place back, which means I want to construct it in place in this vector, and then we're using the move constructor, which means that this cannot no longer be a cons reference, but now it is an R value, has to be an R value reference. Well, this assumes that the add handle is passing also this type. If it would pass only something that if it would pass the arguments needed for the constructor of this type, then it would be better to pass by value. But I would still need standard move here, and it doesn't have a constructor because before it was just a built-in handle, built-in type handle. Right, so now maybe I should just search for this in this file. I'm gonna start at the top even. Also get to see the comments then. So this is a helper class that stores the descriptor set allocation mutex and a vector with frame resource capable descriptor set handles. Construct a set mutex and handles that contains no. You have to replace absolutely everything, it seems. And a single one. And I thought I just changed something like this, but apparently that was the debug version. This is the non-debug version. Okay, now it certainly doesn't look like I'm just gonna do it like this. Doesn't really matter on this case. Here we do the same thing, I guess. I don't know. Looks like I did not do this one either. But this one was already changed. So I'm just going to move it every time. Oops. It's kind of strange though. Even this, even the construct contains a single . We just changed that. Oh, here I changed it here. I think I was completely confused. Okay, I changed the comment of one part and then the declaration of the other part. Well, really, it exists of two parts. It's set layout binding. Let's see, what do you exactly do in this thing here? We print it and we pass it. It's a try and place again. And a try and place. So I could use a move here as well. Of course, it's possible that at some point we are calling it with a non-constructed descriptor set. We just want a copy. Now moving wouldn't work. I guess that the best thing is if I would check what the caller, if the caller can get rid of it, as in if moving is a good idea. The caller is here. Okay, yeah. Definitely don't want to move that. I think I need to keep this around, right? So in this case we have this, and I just want to make a copy of it because this is a member variable and I don't think we should change it. And it's actually the same thing for the update descriptor set, which I think I also just changed. Update descriptor set. Nope, nobody sees it. I mean, the constructor is a different thing, but okay. So anyway, I'm going to pass it like a cons reference here, and then we'll just have to make a copy of it. And here add handle, same thing I guess. Okay, let's go back to the VK descriptor set type. I should get rid of the VH though. It literally stands for Vulkan handle. Oh, that's not what I wanted. What was it? Frame resource capable descriptor set const reference. And I bet we are not inside descriptor. No. Oh, do we have another one? Nope, we don't. Well, that's time to try compile errors again. Hello, Pira. Oh, Swapnil asked what are advantage of frame resources for uniform? Yeah, I missed your question for a whole 10 minutes. Are you still there, Swapnil Narola? And according to the YouTube, he left, so yeah. Sorry about that. Why did he leave? We finally found another Vulkan programmer who is working on their own Vulkan engine. Did he leave? Or not? Well, not convinced he's still there because the highlighting looks a little bit weird. Could also be because of the spaces. For flip's sake. Yeah, well, it's going like always. What DE? I am using a Fluxbox. I was using KDE/Plasma before, but that didn't work. Just I have 3 monitors, and I don't know if that's the reason, but it just stopped updating Windows. And since I switched to Fluxbox, that problem is gone. So definitely a bug in Plasma, and it has been there for years. Really buggy. Or maybe it's a bug in the NVIDIA drivers, and it is just because Plasma was a compositing window manager and the Fluxbox is not, but I don't care. I'm finally released from this stupid problem that Windows stopped updating. Error, no matching function for call to standard vector, Vulkan descriptor frame, blah 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 blah, vectors and remove reference, blah blah blah. Yeah. Let me guess. The reason is that I don't have a... okay, what does it want? Yeah, why can I not read this? In constructor, set mutix and set handles. No matching function call for vector. It's probably a R value reference. Yeah, so I'm moving it. So that the reason is, of course, that I did not add a move constructor for that our new class. I cannot find it. It's only talking about user include stuff, not about my own file. Stupid. But that has to be it. So well, it should probably talk about somewhere about one. This is what it should be, but we cannot use it because come on, can I not find that? Vector. Okay, nobody can read this. So we don't know what the error is, but we can guess. And it has to do with this file. Seems all very unlikely. Make C tags. We cannot move this new thing. Okay, so there we are, public. I'm gonna call this original. Yeah, I don't like it. Okay, original. So now I have a move constructor, and maybe you get one line further now. I'm not really using an IDE. It's just a console terminal with command line prompt. I don't know, IDEs never have a good editor, so I want to run new Vim, and they take up a lot of space. My god, what I suffer for you guys. Really, normally I work like this, and then I have my whole monitor is used for also the bottom. There's something below here also, which I also sacrificed because it doesn't fit on YouTube. So if I work like this, I'll switch back. But let me just show you how much space I have. I'm not sure where. It's still complaining. See, now I have an overview of what we're doing here. That didn't fit on one line, so. And then because I'm streaming on YouTube, I have to work like this. And you don't see anything anymore. You just see a really tiny spot of your code. Cry. Plus, I have no idea what the last error was, really. What was the last error? Because I added a move constructor and it still has almost the same problem. Namely, same line number in constructor, same constructor. No matching function for call 2, same problem. Here, I didn't solve anything. Yeah, that's nasty. Why? Okay, well I have to look at all the candidates. Vector input iterator. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Node, not a candidate. Highlight. Not a candidate. This candidate takes an initializer list. No. Another candidate takes a vector R value. Yeah, I think that's the one, isn't it? Candidate. Lots of cryptic template stuff. Vector taking a R reference for the vector. Candidate expects 2 arguments, 1 provided. Would have to provide an allocator, something? Yeah, well, no. Okay, so let's skip that one. Here we have another one. Expect 3 arguments. Now let's skip that as well. Another allocator. Well, that's weird. Everything that takes an R value reference also wants an allocator. Yeah. Oh, there it is. This is a one argument. No known conversion from argument 1 of standard remove reference, vulkan descriptor, frame resource capable descriptor set, reference type, aka vulkan descriptor, frame resource capable descriptor set to standard vulkan. Why not? Is this the thing where I try to create a vector with a single element? We have a single element and it cannot pass that as a vector. Well, that makes sense. And then what am I trying to do here? That's here, right? Descriptor sets and yeah, I cannot move that. That is, yeah, it's a single descriptor. Scander, yeah, what is it called? Linear algebra. I think linear algebra, yeah, which is a lot of fun. Yeah, construct a set mutex handles thing that contains a single frame resource capable descriptor set. So that's kind of nonsensical then to try to move it, isn't it? Or is it? How can I create? Is that even possible? I could create it empty and then move it into the vector. Let's have a look at standard vector. Constructors. Does anyone see a move? Yeah, I'm down here. That's the only one. Control F. Yeah. So there is no constructor that allows you to move a single element into a vector. We'll have to use emplace. So construct it empty and then emplace it, I think. Okay, where's my emplace? Emplace back. There's an emplace here. What is that? That takes an iterator. Wow, place back is good enough. Ogs. Yeah. This is not an R. This is not an R reference, by the way. It's I've got the name. It's a universal reference or something like that. So I just allows you to pass anything, and what we are going to pass is an R value reference, and then we're going to use the move constructor to construct it. So this is the argument of our move constructor, which is then being used to construct it in place at the back, meaning that we have to do that here. Place it back, and then we move it here. Just a single element. And then we begin with constructing it empty. I think like that. Are you a teacher? Well, I did teach C++, but not that official. Just to youth for a little bit, but no, not. I have no special training or anything for teaching C++. Primary source capable descriptor set has not been declared. Talking about whining. Missing header anyway, probably. Oh, but it is there. We are inside. Yeah, okay, well. That should work. Yes, Python is a good language, definitely. Because the question is, if you begin with Python, will you ever leave Python? Will you ever find the time to switch to C++ once you get good at Python? I did teach C++ for a while, and I was I think I was 18 years old boy who wanted to become a programmer also, and he did get a job. But then he had to code in Python for his job. And now years and years later, he's still coding in Python. So he didn't use my C++ knowledge or whatever I taught him. Maybe I did teach him something that he could use with Python, but yeah, he's kind of stuck as a Python programmer now. Okay, what is this? Yeah, we cannot print it. Of course we cannot print it. So we need to allow printing our new class. And we do that with the following trick. I just add a, for debugging purposes, print on. Let's just add .cxx for this, especially include system h. Don't ask. Namespace vulkan descriptor descriptor. And then we have whatever I want to add here. And I need to close that thing again. And it was called, I'm not going to type that, I'm just going to copy it. There. Now we have to print it. I think I'm going to print it as follows. If, okay, just have to peek here. Okay, so if the thing has a single element, yeah, I mean, it's possible that it is a frame resource capable thing, but we just have frame resources with a length of a size of 1. But I don't think it does make much sense to make a difference about that. Well, that's, I'm just going to print it as a single descriptor. If the size is 1, we're going to print just that one element. And otherwise, I'm going to print the whole vector, which we can do. Now, for the last thing to work, I'm going to need a header, which I think is cwds/debug o stream operators. Yeah, I think I was using single quotes everywhere. Debug o stream operator. Let's have a peek if that works. If that is correct, rather. Yeah, looks like it. So this prints the vectors. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, well, it still works. It's not a standard vector, it's a utils vector. But that's probably derived from standard vectors. I don't think I have a special printer for. Hey, hugs. Are you in favor of hugs as well? I miss hugs. I do not get enough hugs. I can tell you that. The probably to do with having no real life friends and stuff. No social life, actually. But yeah, you cannot have everything in life. Because every time I try it, I run screaming away. One of the reasons, well, the main reason has always been that they don't support a good editor. And another reason is because they add all kinds of stuff that is just annoying and taking up space and not needed. Maybe there are some positive things about it, but I'm used to this, and I don't know. I tried it a few times, but I didn't see any reason to continue using it. Maybe if I would write an IDE of my own, written by me, then I would, be able to write something that I would like, and then I would use that, and then it would be better than this. But I did, automate a lot of stuff. So I return to the command prompt. Let's say if I have an error, so should I compile again? I don't know. Oh, I just did. No, I edited stuff. I mean, one of the things that you want is, say, if you compile, you want to quickly jump to the source code, right, where the error is. But I have to understand the error anyway, so I'm very happy that I have my whole monitor. And, well, now I'm streaming and the font is very large, so I do not see that much, but it's a lot, well, and there's not even more cutoff by an IDE. My whole monitor I can use to read an error. Then I have to read it, so I read it. So I have this. So now, okay, then I decide that this is the file where I want to go to, because there is another file here, and there is another file here. You have to pick one. You cannot just say, oh, there was a compile error here. No, I don't think so. You have to understand the error and then know where you want to go to. Especially these two are different. Let's say I want to jump to this. Okay, then I type VI and then I just paste it. So there was a double click and now a single click. And then I have this. And then I type return and then I'm where I want. That's almost nothing. But why does this work? The reason that this works is because if you try to run say directly user bin nvim, you get a new file that is called :178:31. It's totally not working. So the reason that it works is because my VI is really a program. Just get. This is my VI that I really run. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I even lost my cut. No, I switched. This is what I really run. So you could call this kind of scripts my IDE. Man, I have loads and loads of bash scripts, alias functions. Yep, HPE. It's not even that dramatically. Maybe you should just look at my what is it? Environment. This is my environment. So I have a bash function for which and for sudo, and set compiler environment does this. This is my IDE basically. Run in GDB. Oh, I forgot I had that. resource reloads my environment depending on the directory that I'm in. PG does, I think it pushes to, does a git push, but then with a lot of smart stuff before it. This is my make. If I type make, I really run this boss function, but in the end it just runs make. And then you see me type GPS a lot, which is this. And I also have GS and GSX. I recently made this fix me. I added that today, I think, even. And if I run configure, it has nothing to do with auto tools. It's just my parse function, which again runs CMake. And then this double underscore stuff is, yeah, it's my environment control. I use environments variables a lot. And that whole system uses a lot of bash functions, which start with underscore underscore cdeh, which stands for change directory environment history, which is also open source. You can download it from my website. Well, these are just normal environment variables. So yeah, I added this one today. So if you type fix me, it shows me reverse sorted on date, the file number with the line number of all the fix me's that are there. Currently we're working on this one. It's one of the most recent added fix me's. Dems is just a kid. Let's see. I was working on something and I forgot what. That's pretty normal for me these days. My mother doesn't know where she lives. When I come there, she lives there 4 years now, and I come there and she says, "How did you know we were here?" I say, "Well, you live here." "No, I don't live here." Of course, she cannot remember that. I'm scared to get that direction. Losing your memory seems very nasty to me. It's almost 1 AM. Yeah, I should go to bed, I guess. But I got out of bed at noon today. So I should, my day is shifting again. I wanted to get out of bed at 9 AM. And then it became 10 AM and I got used to that. Then it became 11 AM and I got used to that. And today it was 12 AM and soon I'm gonna be used to that. I don't like it. So yeah, what I should do is stop the stream now, go to bed and try to sleep. And then in the morning when I get up earlier, not 12 AM. Cannot bind R value reference of type vulkan descriptor frame resource cable script blah 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 blah. Maybe I should go to bed. I don't see the errors anymore. It's starting to change into Chinese. I guess that my add handle takes an R value reference. Yes, it does. And that was maybe not a good idea. So I want to go to this file and then look how good an idea it was. That's the descriptor set. The descriptor set is it's a cons reference. Yeah, well, I have to look at who's calling at set layout. Again, probably. And that's this one, and it's calling it, and it's calling it from here, and it is passing, oh, that vector, right. So I do not want to move it, no. Just pass it as a const reference, why not? Add set layout binding, pass it as a const reference, which is also, I hope, in the header. For some reason we didn't end up where I wanted. This is the header. Oh, okay, didn't say anything. And since it is a const reference and I don't want to move it, the handle should just, you know, take the const reference as well. And then there is nothing to move here either. We just make a copy. And then I might as well use pushback. Well, the power of Vim is basically that you can do everything you want with the keyboard, and well, with very few keystrokes. But it's harder to learn than typing blind, because there are a lot of single key commands, and you have to not just learn them, but learn them from your spine. Which I only know a fraction of the commands that exist. Fraction, really. I should have tried harder, learn more, but now I'm too lazy and probably too old to learn more things like on that level, that you could just do it completely automatically. And well, the subset that I do know is kind of sufficient, I think. If you would know all the commands of Vim, like 90% or say, and you would know them automatically, so you know this from your spine, like I said, and neural path, then my god, then you can edit things fast, and that is not possible with other editors, I think, especially not when you have to reach out to the mouse all the time. But then again, I never really looked into Windows stuff anyway. I don't have Windows, never run Windows, so I don't know about Visual Studio editors. These errors are kind of annoyingly difficult for some reason. It's probably because I changed the type and then changed the constructor. In file included from traits.h in instantiation of something that nobody understands. Well, it has the word construct in it. In STL vector required from another thing. Oh, pushback, yeah. with TP is something that we are working on. Allocator is not important. Required from here, so that's where I have to look at. No matching function for call to construct at vulkan descriptor, blah blah blah. Put the cons here. Okay, it doesn't know how to copy construct it. This looks like the construct at means that is the this pointer. The reference is just for the heck of it, so it's really just a pointer. And then this is a cons reference with the same type, so that means it's a copy constructor. And yes, we do not have a copy constructor, so I do not really need to read the rest. You already know what is wrong. I do not have a copy constructor. Apparently I do need a copy constructor. The downside of adding a copy constructor is that from that moment on I might be using copy constructors even while I want to use a move constructor. But well, let's add a copy constructor. Cons reference, also original. And then we do the same thing, but this time we don't move it, we just copy it. Right. Right. And just a little error, just a small tiny little error left. Okay, this time it's complaining about in instantiation of standard pair. What are we talking about then? I mean, which file? Okay, well, tuples, args, standard layout binding. Holy shit! Oh, there it is. It's a part of the error. I might as well highlight it, you know, and you see that where it is complaining about. So it has args2, which contains my thing, which I just changed, and now it doesn't compile anymore because, well, I'm really not interested in file names that are in /user include. More user include, more user include. We can all skip all that. Scroll. No. Required from here. Oh, why didn't you say that immediately? Required from here, and then blah blah blah. Cannot bind R value reference of type my thing to L value of type also my thing. In execution of second standard forward argument used and blah blah blah. Holy moly. That's in tuple. Initializing argument 1 of I must say this. I think this is a pretty difficult to compile error. It's not. I'm not like oh yeah, I can read this and I understand what it is. In initializing argument 1 of constructor of set mutix and set handles. no idea really. I can look at both lines, I think. So 51 and 171. Let's look here first. Yeah, this is a previous already changed attempt. Passing in our value reference and then trying to move that in the body of the constructor. Well, I don't see a problem here really. So let's go to 171. Set layout bindings to handles, try in place. Right, I think the problem is that the type of this thing has changed. It's now a frame resource capable descriptor set. So I think we just have to look at the constructor or whatever this thing is containing, and that is a right locked whatever that is. So I do to here. Set layout bindings to handles type, which is a, so it contains a set layout bindings to handles container, which okay, it contains, I think, what is it going? No, I almost lost it. Go back. Okay, and try in place for a map. So then this is the key, and the descriptor set is the info part. Okay, so you go back again. It's the info part. So we're trying to do a try in place on this type, which is a map. With this is key, and then standard mutex and set handles as the info part, and that means that this object must be able to create this object with a single frame resource descriptor set, and that allows us to do that, but only if we move it. There's a missing descriptor here. What is my namespace? Shader resource. Descriptor. Anyway, this is with debug, so my guess is it's trying to use this one. And yeah, the whole move idea is kind of silly, I guess. I mean, I'm trying to construct it at the moment. with a single element. Shouldn't that still work? Anyway, let's have a look how often I'm using this. Comments. Scope. This is a constructor, class definition, just the scope of the thing, and then we have here, there's actually being used, and we also we always seem to be constructing that from try in place, I would say. There's a find here. Yeah, well, comment. So we're always trying to construct it from, well, not this one. Default construct. Yeah, we're trying to construct this thing from a frame resource capable descriptor set. That is what we're trying to do. Still need to know where that comes from though. Yeah, that was a cons referencing, so there is nothing to move again. The whole move idea was wrong from the very beginning. It's just bothering me, like, not bothering me, but it's in my way. It's pestering me. It's forcing me with loads and loads of compile errors to remove that. Those are references. That's what it's doing. Of course, I forgot where we were. I don't think we even need this at all. Have we ever needed a move yet? Oh, first I must find back that here. Try in place on that thing. Where it is? Okay, it's a constructor of this thing here, I think. Oops. Can't find tag pattern, really. No matching function for call to what I just added. Why not? Well, I thought that would work, apparently not. It doesn't know how to convert a const value type to a const reference vector. Yeah, I wouldn't either. What's this const doing here? Nah, what? This is not what I wanted. I want a value type. Size type, value type. That's what I wanted. I guess I was mistaken as usual. And I'm again in the wrong file. So annoying. So apparently this has to be 1, comma something. Let's have a look here. Standard vector. Constructor. Where's the constructor? Yeah. Value type. It's count value type. Count value. Count value. Okay, so the count is necessary. And still an error. Void the vulkan shader builder shader resource blah blah blah. This kind we are talking about textures. It's marked override but does not override. Interesting. Declared field. The following virtual functions are pure virtual. Task. Well, that's strange. That's the base, and it says that this one is const task synchronous window pointer. Const task synchronous window pointer. VK descriptor set. Oh. Yeah, that's not true. Must be this. The I. Okay, should have used my mouse. Descriptor set const reference. And then the thing is being passed to here. Update descriptor sets. Logical device. Which takes a VK descriptor set. Well, I can just treat it like that, I think. Yeah, there's a problem here, or problem. There is a danger that I mean, I have to write an API for this thing to be either a single descriptor set or a multiple descriptor sets, one for each frame resource, right? And if the thing is capable of being both, and then there is of course the danger that I am accessing it in one way at some point and then in another way at another point. For example, in this case I just want it to be a single descriptor set, no frame resources, because this is a texture. So what I could do is I can add an automatic, or is that explicit, conversion to the VK descriptor set of this type. Then I can just leave this alone. But then every time I try to convert something that does have frame resource support, it would just fall back to returning the descriptor set of the first frame resource every time. Now I can add an assert for that, I guess. But I kind of would prefer to get compile time errors instead of an assert. Which means I should not do an automatic conversion, but more an explicit syntax. So I could do, say, a star, and that then means that I'm that I know that it should be a single. But I would compile. I would compile also. It's just nonsense. Nonsense. No. That is no. It just has to be an assert. I don't think. I mean, I could do it. No, I cannot do it. Cannot do it with a compile time. So it has to be an assert. Okay, well, I'm just gonna leave this, as if it is a single descriptor. So we're going to add an automatic conversion. Meaning I want this to be converted to that automatically. Operator. Const. It's kind of like an accessor, but then just return the first element here. But yeah, definitely needs an assert that checks that size is 1. Otherwise we should not use it. I have the feeling that it should be something else than automatic. What is the word? Implicit or explicit? I think it might be implicit. Let's keep it automatic. Only use automatic conversion when this represents a single. Descriptor set handle. And since that is the case for texture, I might as well change this. No, I cannot because it's a virtual function. Update the script set as a virtual function, so it needs to have that type in the as an argument. Assert was not declared. I think I'm going to bed as soon as the compile errors are fixed. Because it's already too late, really. No match for operator square brackets. Okay, it's definitely a new place. Oh, right. Must be a frame resource. Index thingy. Yeah, how can I access the first element? I guess just begin or something. Vector, oops. Can do I begin, this gives me an index time. Well, the I stands for index. I can just get the index type by calling I begin, which then returns 0. Feels kind of stupid, doesn't it? Or I can just call dereference, that may be better. Just call begin and then dereference that. Okay, our vulkan general builder, update descriptor set. Marked override, but does not override. That's because it still has that type in it. This is the uniform buffer. descriptor frame resource capable, and then let's pass it as a cons reference again. This time I am going to copy it. Yeah. And then we jump to the CXX and we're looking for update descriptor set. Oh, right on top. And then we delete this, and then I put that one back. And then we look at how descriptor set is being used, or rather the VH must be removed. Now in this case we do want to pass this one also, yeah, this takes a single descriptor set. But this time we want to treat it as an array. So I use hex 0 here. You know, and then later I can add a loop around it. Then that should compile. So this new type also needs a square bracket operator, which accepts frame resource index. So we have to add that as well. Square bracket operator. That also returns this. And then operator square brackets, and then accept a frame resource index, and then that just returns descriptor set with the index. And while I'm at it, I might as well add an assert for that as well, maybe. Now the size must be larger than 1. Multiple. Descriptor set handles. 1 per frame resource. Right. Oh, can we go to bed? No, not yet. Cannot convert the value type, aka VK descriptor set, to our new type. Right, and that is here. Let's have a look at that. Update descriptor set takes. Would be weird. Would be weird, wouldn't it? Or isn't it? Or update descriptor set takes. Okay. I think that we have to change the type of this variable then into. There we go again. I have to type it again. Really, I need to make a macro or something like that for this thing. Descriptor frame resource capable descriptor set. Yeah, and that is, means that this one is also like that. And here we have something also. The type is happens a lot. I guess we'll just have to make a using here. Let's make it a public type. You never know. Public using. Yeah, it's not really a vulkan, a vector of vulkan handles anymore though. Not really. So I have to change to rename this thing, I guess. To let's just strip this off. It's a bit short. It's descriptor sets per. It's more descriptor set per set index. Think so. And then I'm going to do this as a descriptor set index. Yeah, container type or type. Type. Not wrapping it yet. Oh well, let's try to compile it. We shall decide 22 and still can make a proper Android app. Man, that's okay. I was still a virgin at 26. Right, so we have here and then what? It's not a member of vulkan descriptor. Well, that means it's a missing header. Include descriptor. Or this. Yes, I did. Who cares? I didn't go into details. You really don't want to know the details, I think. There's something wrong with commas and dots here. Descriptor set per set index type. Descriptors that. Why is this not compiling? Oh, this thing is still here from the vector. Yeah, it's a rotor. I think it's like the best rotor they have. Does it say what it is? Nope. Testing 1, 2. Sounds different when I remove the wind thing, windshield plastic thing. What is it? Oh, I have my phone now. I can make a picture. I was doing that. You know, someone asked what keyboard are you using, and then I said I'll make a picture. One picture coming up. So my keyboards are like this. I put the monitor on it becomes dark. That should work. And then I can share them, or I can just, how does that work? Share them here. Okay, the other one. Oh, that didn't work. Squeeze it more. This, share. Okay, now I have it. Now I can go back again here. Nope. And that one also share. Okay, so yeah, I'll have to load that into something. It's no open with or something. Nope. No, this works, I think. Oh, does this work? Which button is it? Alt? Yeah. Seems to work. Okay, there's a picture of my keyboards and table. So you see that I'm using ergonomic keyboards. I used to have two PCs, so currently one is not connected anymore because of the electricity bill. That was my old keyboard, and now I'm using this one. And you can it's standing on something very thin here, a thin piece of wood, and that can ride back and forward here, like this, hanging on curtain rails here and here. So extra ergonomic. And this is my microphone. And I'm not taking a risk. I'm going to move it again. Yeah, well, that worked. Actually, here's my microphone. So it's hanging in elastic bands and stuff like that. It's very long. It's directional. directional thing. You see it's connected here to Shure something that is the AD converter. And then on the other side, like here, there's a USB cable. You can still see that here. So the microphone is connected to this thing, and then here's the USB cable. It's audio and USB. It's connected. So this is an audio card and microphone amplifier in all in one. A shock mount, yeah, well, totally. So if and this is also very heavy foot here. It's heavy metal. So if I slam the table, you don't hear it. I mean, you hear it, but you hear through the air, not through the foot. Right. I had another picture of the monitors. I showed that before, I think. I made that before. So this is from the side and during the day. So here you see my keyboard still. And then I have 3 monitors like this. So this one is running OBS, and here this is the monitor that you guys can see, the one in the middle. Yeah, okay. Let's minimize it again. Put OBS on top. The latest compile error is no matching function for call to vulkan pipeline have datum. Whoa, that's I did break a lot of things, didn't I? No known conversion for argument 3 from a vector with descriptor sets to descriptor set per set index type, aka a utils vector containing that instead of that. So apparently I need to replace this type still with the new type, with this type, which is inside pipeline. Let's copy that to pipeline.h31. I knew I shouldn't have done that. Nope, okay. That one. VI. And then I want to copy this type. But that is the correct type. Do I did change this? No, what is wrong? because this is the problem here. The third argument here is the VHV descriptor sets of mShader input data. Yep, so this type here, it should also be pipeline type. That type. And this is in pipeline. I might as well, I guess, I hope this is knowing pipeline. Doesn't look like it. It's not including it. Pipeline. Nope. Annoying. I don't want to include a header just for a type. So I guess I'm going to call this one the same, but define it again here. And I renamed this one as well, right, to something else. Yeah, like literally what it says there. VHV descriptor sets. And get VHV descriptor set layouts. Which is also per set index. Oh, this is still that type. Oh, looking for that. Descriptor set. What is the layout is? It's a different type. Yeah, so let's just, oh, this is definitely not, yeah. I don't want to rename the layout things. Definitely do not want to do that. But I do want to rename the descriptor sets. So I have this string here. And I want to replace that with something. No, they're suddenly the only ones. Why? Oh, the other one is set without an S. Okay, that solves it. Anyway, substitute then this thing here with this thing, I guess. And then this already exists. Yep. Unexpected. A compile error. Where does that come from? Out of nowhere. Pipeline factory 394, blah 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 blah. No member. Okay. Probably because I just renamed it. Yeah, I should go to bed. It's getting late. Ridiculously late. But yeah, we're still having compile errors here. Well, it's funny, isn't it? So just change something at one place. VK colon descriptor set into a frame resource capable descriptor set, and then wow, loads and loads of errors before it's compiling again. Not declared. Well, renaming stuff as well, I have to admit that. Yeah, I should maybe search this file for other places where this is being used. There's another one. And another one. And another one. And oops. Comment even. That was all. Hello, Momoyo. Momoyo or Momoyo. No known conversion for argument 3 for well, that's stupid. Hmm? Hmm? I think I needed this one. Yeah, so the shader input data returns of this type, which I defined as a vector of VK descriptor sets. Why? Why on earth would I do that? Starting to have the feeling there will be no handles left. They're gonna be all replaced with my new class. Yeah, it's not really an advertising bot. I'm pretty sure they just want to screw you, take your money. I mean, if you have no moral and no ethics, if you're such a low scum of the earth that you use YouTube bots to flood people with clickbait, then why not take the next step and just take people's money without delivering anything? Seems most logical thing. I wouldn't be opposed to everyone who tries to be dishonest in ways like stealing other people's money. If they would just drop dead, they would just die because they did that. Couldn't make a movie of it. No metro operator. You ever watch those YouTubes about scammer payback, for example? So you get to see the real scammers in there, where they are calling mostly really old people who just don't understand things anymore. They can be convinced to do really stupid stuff because they're really dumb, I guess. And then they just talk those poor people out of their money. And I think that's normal. I think they you know, I don't know why. Maybe they have the feeling that, you know, it's a different country and that country is evil because people out there are much richer and well, the scammers mostly live in a poor country, and well, you can say that it's not fair. So I'm born in a poor country, and those other guys are born in a rich country. So if I can get their money, then fair game. So yeah, maybe you understand why they do it. But it's still very mean. You know, 80 years old people who just really believe they are talking to Microsoft and they are transferring loads of money to the scammers. there are really, really, what do I want to say? There are really people who have absolutely no empathy. They cannot understand that other people have feelings and that they can get extremely hurt. Hell, I'm also looking at YouTubes about criminals. One of the last things I watched was a 14-year-old who killed his two best friends who were 13 years old, 13 or 14, I think. And maybe I should not have watched it. The only thing you get to see is the interrogation by the police that was recorded and then analyzed and stuff. And then he's just telling matter-of-factly, the police agent asked him, so why did you take your friend into school? Well, because I plan to murder him. Why did you plan to murder him? I don't know. Did he do anything to you? No. I just wanted to murder someone. And why did you pick your best friend then? Well, he's the easiest because he's my best friend. He will do, if I ask him to come into the toilets, he will do that. And that's what he needed to slit his throat, be in the toilets. Absolutely no feelings whatsoever, no regret, no understanding for that. Taking a life is bad, or that he hurt someone or hurt the family of that child. Unbelievable. That's yeah. Some people, there's just people like that. They have a brain that have no feeling, no empathy whatsoever, and some of them become 14-year-old serial killers. And others become politicians. There should be a way to detect that people are like that. We can take precautions before it is too late, before they kill someone or ruin a whole country. No metro operator equals... I think I should go to bed. It's 2:10 a.m. I don't know how long this is going to take. 1 hour after another. Yeah, I'm going to bed. Guys, it was fun again. Well, not really. Way too many difficult compile errors. Only 14 viewers now. Maybe that's because it's a really strange time for me to be broadcasting. I have a few of those what's the word? Faithful viewers. So normally I stick at 24, 25. But they are probably gone to bed now, because normally I already stopped stream 2 hours ago. Okay, people, though, good night. Stop